from the tiny shower and dries herself on one of the towels that she's folded countless times. She brushes her teeth, scrubbing away the sour taste and replacing it with the bitter tang of something that's supposed to be mint but isn't. She knows what mint tastes like from the chewing gum she's not supposed to have. She wipes the steam from the small mirror over the sink and sighs. Her hair. What to do with it? Unmanageable is a kind term for the long dark curls that seem to have a mind of their own. She tries sweeping it to one side and securing it with a thin clasp, but it pulls free and dangles over her face almost immediately. She frowns, changing tactics, and draws it straight back, tightening it into a ponytail before winding an elastic tie around it. She gives herself a last look and leaves the bathroom. Zoey dresses in rough cotton pants the color of the early morning light, then pulls on a shapeless top which hangs down to her narrow hips. She's given up looking in the mirror in the bathroom in regards to her clothing. There are only two styles to choose from. She has one on, and she knows she'll wear the other later that day. A tremble runs through her that ends in her center and curls there, making the slight nausea she woke with worsen. She tries not to look at the digital calendar above her desk, but does anyway. It's the brightest and most prominent object in the room, with its glowing numbers that shine too bright even when the contrast has been turned down. The date is important, almost as important as the rules. It's the first thing that is taught. The months and days, numbers to form dates, those are what are supposed to be remembered. She can still hear Miss Gwen's voice through the years that have passed since the very first lesson. She remembers standing before her, no more than 4 years old and afraid, the instructor's pert dress like a bell above her flat-soled black shoes. The older woman seems not to have changed at all in the last 16 years. Miss Gwen is like the calendar, a constant fixture, always reminding, chiding, telling them that they are special, that they are hope, telling them that their lives are not their own, but belong to the greater good. How much is a life worth? This question is the first that enters Zoey's mind each morning, and it is the last she thinks before falling off to sleep every night. Can a price be put on such a thing? And if it could be, would one ever be able to pay it? She reaches out, wishing she could smash the protrusion of the calendar off the wall, but knows they'll just put another up, and an act like that would earn her time in one of the boxes. She's never had to go inside, but knows she doesn't want to. There are some things in life that don't have to be experienced to form an opinion of. A quiet scratching comes from the window, and she spins, her breath catching in her chest. Zoey hurries across the room, grabbing the chair from her desk to set it beside the glass. She peers out at the closest sniper, but the angle is enough to hide her from sight. She places her fingers in the joint of the right side of the smallest pane that creates the top of the T. It is only 8 inches tall by 2 feet long, but it is heavy, bonded in place by some material that has hardened over the years since the advanced research compound was built. But with the time, like most things, it has cracked around its border, enough so that a fingernail can be inserted, causing the gap to widen over weeks and weeks of worrying. Zoey listens for sounds of footsteps in the hall outside her door, over the thud of her excited heartbeat, but there is only silence. It's still early, and Simon won't be waiting for her for another half hour. She has time. She presses against the right side of the pane, and there's a soft squeak as the entire piece of composite glass shifts. She turns it until she can grasp its closest end before drawing it out of its frame. Cool spring air courses into the room, bathing her face with dampness left over from the night. She shivers, partially from the cold, but mostly from happiness. Could he finally be back?